Now, India today has accessed the remand copy of Peter Mukerjea, former media tycoon, presently in CBI custody. The remand copy lists a financial angle as the possible motive for murder, and that is our top focus story on the broadcast. Let's listen in to the Additional Solicitor General of the Maharashtra government, Anil Singh. I'll get you more on this story. A financial angle which could well be the motive for murder.
कोर्ट में क्या हुआ? Matter is kept on 26th now. So it is custody is granted in 26th.
So what are you hoping for the next week?
Let us see the court order. See the court order.
India Today's Vidya now joins me with the latest from outside the CBI court in Mumbai. Vidya, you were in court. You've been tracking developments on the story very closely. Take us through what transpired. What is it, the financial angle that the CBI says that could have been the possible motive for murder?
Well, Gaurav, if you look at it, the additional Solicitor General actually kept saying that the financial aspect is the main motive that they suspect could have led to the murder. There is also, when I was speaking to some of the officers of CBI outside the court, they said that they have, during one of their raids, found a will which was basically had signatures of Peter Mukerjea, but also had attributed some of the properties to Sheena. If you remember, until now Peter has been saying that he had no connection to Sheena. There was no property that was going to Sheena, but in spite of that, there is a will that has been found at his own house, where the entire will had some properties named in name of Sheena, and apart from that, CBI, however, suspects that this is a fake signature of Peter and has thus called handwriting experts to come into it, look at the entire will, and only then will CBI look into this entire aspect of whether this is a fake will or not. But at the end, yes, there are certain properties that were to go to Sheena from Peter's side as well.
Okay. Now, there are three aspects that the CBI raised in court today. Let's take it point by point. Let's first talk about Peter Mukerjea's conversation with son Rahul Mukerjea. There's also some tape conversation. Why does the CBI think, based on the basis of that tape conversation, they want his custody for some more time?
Well, let me speak about this to our editor here. There are a lot of aspects that CBI had come up with. One was the conversations between Rahul and Peter. How important these are, and whether these will really impact the case, or is it still the financial angle, as the public prosecutor kept saying?
Well, Vidya, if you remember in the last hearing when CBI asked for Peter Mukerjea's custody for the first time, that time CBI tried to portray that the main motive behind this particular murder is that Indrani Mukerjea never wanted Sheena and Rahul to get married, and she did not want Sheena to be part of the Mukerjea family. Why is that? Is maybe because some of the properties might have gone to Sheena Bora as well. She could have been a claimant of some properties. Now, as the story which you just broke a while back, that there is a will which they have found in Peter Mukerjea's house, in which Sheena's name was also put in some of the properties, which CBI thinks that the signatures might be fake. But then why the fake signature will was there in the Peter Mukerjea's house? Secondly, most important part is that when CBI decided to arrest Peter Mukerjea, the main ground for the arrest was not the financial transaction, but it was basically because they thought that the circumstances are showing that Peter Mukerjea was deliberately lying to Rahul Mukerjea. The emails which we have broke today, it clearly shows that he was telling Rahul Mukerjea that he has spoken to Sheena Bora, whereas he never spoke to Sheena Bora, and that is the main contention why CBI went ahead and arrested Peter Mukerjea in the case. So, first of all, the conversation which Rahul has recorded. Second, the emails which they had sent to Rahul Mukerjea and tried to tell him that Sheena is alive and he should be kept away from it. And the third is the financial aspect, in which Sheena could have got some properties which, because of which Indrani thought that it's better to get rid of Sheena Bora.
True. That's precisely what happened in the court today, apart from the fact that during the last hearing, the court very clearly had heard that there were, involvement in the entire conspiracy of killing that CBI had suspected, and it's now that CBI really thinks that it is the first financial motive that has led to this murder.
Okay. Now, what more do we know of this will that you are talking about? That there is a will, whether it's original or fake, or whether the signatures are original or fake. What more do we know of this will?
Well, CBI has sent this will for handwriting experts to really examine it, whether what Peter has told him, whether the will does not really carry his signature and probably are fake. Well, they really need to establish that, and that's one of the reasons why handwriting experts have been called in. But you have to look at it from the fact that if there is a will, as Sahil was just mentioning, if there is a will and which is fake, then why would Peter really keep it at his house and wouldn't he know about it? So there are a lot of questions that CBI has for Peter. He hasn't been answering all those questions, and that's precisely one of the reasons why the entire custodial interrogation was needed by CBI, and that is why they got it.
Okay. Now, the second aspect here is conversations between Peter Mukerjea and his wife Indrani. Reportedly, these conversations were taking place when Indrani Mukerjea was in that car, and that car was being driven from Mumbai to Raigad, and apparently Sheena's mortal remains, or her body, was in the car. What more do we know of this conversation between Peter Mukerjea and Indrani Mukerjea that the CBI wants to know of?
CBI really doesn't have any, recordings of these. What it has is just time durations, that there are durations, long durations of conversations between Peter and Indrani, which on any other day, say for example, when a week after that, a month after that, or prior to that month before this, there are no conversations. They are having small conversations once a day, twice a day at the max. But during those 2 days, there are heightened conversations. That's one of the reasons why CBI suspects that there's something amiss here. But they really don't know what it is, and that's something they really need to find out. Let me just speak to Sahil and find out. Sahil, how do you think CBI will be able to establish what really is the conversation? Do you think Sheena Bora might be able to prove a bigger point here in this particular case?
Yeah, absolutely, because Sheena Bora was one of the main conspirators. He's the one with whom Indrani Mukerjea had this whole conspiracy. With Sheena Bora, she was in continuous touch before coming to Mumbai from London. She even asked her personal secretary to teach him how to use Skype so that she can have a conversation with him. And because of that, it looks like that the Sheena Bora can be the key person in this particular thing. But CBI has recorded already statements under 164, and in that her personal secretary is one of the main important witness, whereas the Rahul Mukerjea is also important witness. So in this case, to show that the conversation was about the conspiracy might be difficult because they do not have any recordings. But that's why CBI first day mentioned that it's a circumstantial evidence which shows that he might be knowing about the conspiracy. The circumstances of Peter Mukerjea speaking to Indrani Mukerjea day before the murder, on the day of the murder, long conversation. CBI suspects that those conversations might be to kill Sheena Bora, whereas Peter says that it's a very normal thing that husband and wife who are not in the same city talks for a long time.
So Gaurav, basically, if you look at it, Sheena Bora is one person who was in the car when this entire conversation probably was happening, and that's one of the reasons why CBI is looking forward to that statement of Sheena Bora in case he has, before magistrates, said anything about those conversations. Probably he overheard it in the car and other places. So that's one of the reasons why CBI probably might be depending on Sheena Bora more now than any other time.
For the moment, Sahil Joshi and Vidya, many thanks for joining me. A conversation between a husband and a wife anyways is considered privileged conversation. We will continue to track developments on the story very closely. There's more breaking news coming in.
जहाँ तक याद आती रहेगी